Okay, I gotta take a breath here because that was exhilarating. I'm also joined this evening by Cam Lewis, writer here at Oilersnation, Coomzy, and as you can tell, the people, they're all loving Connor Brown. We're all loving Calvin Pickard. I do want to give a shout out to Darnell Nurse on that back check at the very end of that hockey game, which allowed Connor Brown to score the game-winning goal. It wasn't a penalty, wasn't called. Beautiful play from Darnell. What an evening, Coomzy. That was a little bit of everything. Vibe check right now.
Vibes are high. That was one hell of a roller coaster because we went into this thing with pretty low expectations. I mean, you think about where we started at the beginning of the day, looking at the lineup with Kasperi Kapanen, and then there's the 2C, and then you see, an hour before the game, whatever it is, Connor McDavid might be playing, and then lead changes. This thing was chaotic. You wonder, the Blues going to score a goal in the third period? Is this going to go to overtime? What's going to happen? The Oilers score with 30 seconds left on the clock, and it was just a bizarre game where you never knew it was going to happen next.
It was magnificent. It lived up to the hype. Once again, Oilers undermanned in this one. They were able to have 12 forwards, but only 5 defensemen in this hockey game, and there was 3 of them, and they played a shit ton of hockey in this game. So if you look through it, Brett Kulak leads the team in ice time tonight with 29 minutes and 4 seconds. Right behind him, Darnell, 28:06. Evan Bouchard, 28:15. Emerson and Stetch with 17 minutes, respectively. I thought it was, once again, great play from the back end. A lot of shots, a lot of offense coming from there as well. But this was a straight-up gut check win from the Edmonton Oilers, one that was incredibly refreshing to see. Some pushback, some give a shit, some fight tonight, because you knew it wasn't going to come easy. The St. Louis Blues, the hottest team in the NHL right now, the best team in the NHL since the Four Nations break. And in this one, Connor McDavid, you thank your lucky stars every day when he gets back out there on the ice. It was a moment. They only had one, maybe 2 power play opportunities, but you just watch McDavid out there on the ice. And we are so blessed every single night to get that. And you watch him gain the zone in the power play and you just go, he makes it look so easy. He was incredible in this one, but the Oilers got support scoring without Nuge, without Leon Draisaitl in the lineup. Connor Brown scores 2 big goals, double digits for CB28. Go back 365 days from now, tell myself that. I would not have believed you. Victor Arvidsson, he gets one as well, his 4th goal in his last 6 games, I do believe. And then Calvin Pickard, just continuing to win hockey games. It's not always the prettiest. It's not always the sexiest. I don't give a shit. It's 20-plus wins for $1 million. But Coomzy, this was a through-and-through team effort W from the Edmonton Oilers.
It was, yeah. I mean, even getting Connor McDavid back, that's obviously a huge game changer for the Oilers. You get your best player back from injury. But even beyond that, there's still a lengthy list of players who are injured or dealing with an illness beyond Connor McDavid coming back to the lineup. Leon Draisaitl's still out. Jake Wallman missed this game. That's a new one to add to the pile. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as well, dealing with an illness. Another one to add to the pile of defenders already missing. Matthias Ekholm already missing. John Klingberg. That's always a real challenge to have to navigate.
Just got LTIR'd retroactively before the game.
And the team was devastated to see that news, so everyone stepped up a little bit more, knowing that John Klingberg isn't going to be back anytime soon. I think that's where we got the but yeah, and like jokes aside, the entire team did come through in this game. It was top to bottom. The defensemen in this game, especially playing with only 5 of them, with Jake Wallman being out, Brett Kulak playing all those minutes, Nurse and Bouchard as well. Just top to bottom, strong win. It was an encouraging one to see because after the losses to the Kings and the Ducks, they sort of, I'm not going to say look listless in those games, but they're not how you'd want the team to look in April before the playoffs.
And you know what helped probably get a little bit of that emotion, a little bit of that energy up? Well, it was that little scrum at the very beginning of the hockey game there where when we look at the replay, let's call a spade, Corey Perry does totally kick or knee Jordan Binnington right in the side of the head. He comes up, he's pissed. We know Jordan Binnington is a tad bit of a psycho. That's also what you want out of your goaltenders. Cover ears of your goalie, but the good ones are the biggest weirdos, and that's just what you want. But Binnington gets up, takes a swing at Corey Perry's head, goes after him again. Also, shout out Darnell Nurse in that play because he comes shot out like a bat out of hell, completely dives over the scrum, maybe skated a little too aggressively, but from right there, felt like the intensity was ratcheted up. This wasn't a playoff game. Yes, this is game 78 of the NHL regular season, but it was clinchmas for both the Oilers and the St. Louis Blues, and we all know the Blues, they've been red hot lately, but the Edmonton Oilers, intensity got picked up there a bit. You watch a leader in your room like Corey Perry take a shot from Jordan Binnington. And it felt like from there, Coomzy, everything was a little bit more intense. Everything was ratcheted up a little bit. What'd you think about that play to start the game and then the subsequent energy for the rest of the hockey game?
It really did feel like when that happened and there was the Corey Perry fight. I can't remember who was he fighting with on St. Louis. It was Corey Perry and who was it? I can't remember though. And it felt like that was going to be the beginning.
I was so focused on Jordan Bennington.
Yeah, it felt like it was going to be the beginning of. Was it Jake Neighbors? Am I not remembering? I don't know.
Yeah, that was who he scrapped with,
right? Yeah, it felt like this was going to be the beginning of a game that had a whole bunch of different scraps, but both teams kind of managed to dial it back in and still maintain that intensity in sort of a different way. I think for the Oilers, it was really important because, we talked about this before the game, but you're slowly looking at the standings and it's like, if a handful of things go wrong, then, the Oilers may wind up out of a playoff spot. And I think they wanted to put themselves in a situation where they're not having to win game 80 or 81 or 82. They want to wrap this thing up now and clinch their spot, get that X so they can take it a little bit easy.
Calvin Pickard's in the chat says I would have went with Binner, but he didn't want to get embarrassed. Pat, we were screaming, get a camera on Pickard right now. Mm-hmm. Where is he? Get out to center ice, start challenging him. Goalie fight would have ratcheted this one up. There's a little bit of a rivalry being created here between the Edmonton Oilers and the St. Louis Blues. Final one, Calvin Pickard. He was fantastic in this game. Lewis G asked the question. Actually, doesn't even ask the question. Just states it. All capitals with 4 exclamation points. Says Picks game 1. Coomzy,
probably.
Stuart Skinner. We are expecting to. My assumption is that he's going to be starting Friday's game against the San Jose Sharks. That's kind of what I've been led to believe. Who knows? Maybe it's the Winnipeg game on Sunday. But either way, Calvin Pickard continues to make his case here for the Edmonton Oilers on the evening. 23 saves, 26 shots. It's an .885 save percentage, but another big fat orange W.
Yeah, there's only 4 games left in the season here, and just given the nature of Stuart Skinner's injury and the kind of stretch he has been having, or even the whole season as a whole, the whole year he's been having, I don't know what he would have to really prove in these 4 remaining games. Like, what are you going to do? Have a huge performance against San Jose and then another one against the Kings, another one against San Jose next week, and then the Oilers feel comfortable making you the game 1 starter coming off a concussion? I have a hard time believing that it's not going to be Calvin Pickard being the starter for the goalie when starter for the Oilers in the playoffs come around.
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.